Hello, so today I would like to answer one of the questions that I get asked loads of times in business, and it's regarding times when people are not experiencing any sales. So they're doing all the promotions, they're getting really visible, they're getting out there, and they're still, people may be clicking through to things, but they're not still not selling something. And they go, oh, what'll I do? Should I drop my prices? Is my product, my service, is it too expensive for people and is that putting them off? Okay, so that is the tip of the iceberg for questions because underneath that, there's a whole load of reasons why people aren't buying from you. I'm just going to address three things at the moment for you to consider before you drop your prices. Okay, so again, I could unpick everything if I knew what your business was and what you were selling and what you were doing and the procedures that you're going through. But I don't know that. So I am just going to give you some tips to think about. And they're going to be key in the fact that at the moment, a bit of an economic downturn, perhaps recession on the edge. There's a lot of stuff going on in the news about the rise in prices for energy and food and the fear of job losses and everything like that. And so everybody sort of has that in the front of their mind and they're a bit fearful about spending a lot of money. And you might be one of those people. And when that happens, what tends to happen is an action because you have that thought. And so that action turns into, well, if other people are finding it difficult to buy X, Y, Z just now, and I'm finding it difficult to buy X, Y, and Z just now, then obviously my prices need to be lowered so I can get more sales. And that is, that's quite a logical thing to think about. It is a quite a, you know, a reasonable thing to think. So you're not alone in thinking this. But I just want you to take a step back before you do have a massive sale on your items and you drop the prices. You see, when people purchase something, they purchase it for their perceived value. So they will see something that is cost, say, £100. Right? So if they see it costs £100, they'll either have the thought of, well, that's too expensive for that, or oh, that's very reasonable, and not think twice about purchasing it. The mindset that they have over the value of that and what they value it as is down to their own personal interest. So it might be something that they love and desperately want and think that that is really going to solve an issue for them, solve their problem. And in which case, they will pay you that £100, say. Just a little figure in my head, right? If, however, they don't particularly need it, or it's not something that is attracting them particularly, or they can do without it, then they'll all of a sudden value that £100 product or service as, well, it's expensive, isn't it? It's not really what I want. So you have to think about their mindset rather than yours. It doesn't mean that what you're offering isn't worth that. It just means that in the customer's minds, it comes to you, some people will think it's worth it and some people won't. So it's their money mindset. That's a term that goes around a lot, isn't it? Money mindset. It's their money mindset, not yours. So you still have to add that value in terms of financial value to your product. You have to say, actually, this is what I'm selling it at. And it's up to your customers to decide whether they want that or not. So it may or may not be anything to do with the price, but it's more to do with their perceived value of it and whether they think it's too expensive or whether it is a reasonable price to pay. So they've got this whole internal working, just like you do, about something. And that leads me on to, thinking about in your business who you're attracting. Now, I've spoken about this before lots of times. Are you attracting the customers that you need in order to run your business the way you want it to run? Okay, so what do I mean by that? I mean, are you attracting people who don't have money, who don't have the ability to spend on your product? Now, let me just go with this a little bit. You might want to serve people who need a hand off the ground. You know, they need that stepping stone. They need that next place. You know, whether that be a product, service, whatever. You might want to help those people, and that's fine and that's great. But know that that's the person that you're attracting, and know that they will come with financial barriers. And know their financial barriers. I mean, everybody has financial barriers, but know that that is their financial barrier. So perhaps they are just taking that first steps into business. If you're a coach, a business coach, perhaps it's a product that you're supplying that they would love, but you maybe make it at a lower cost for them. So at that point, you sort of look at, well, those my clients can afford this, or they can't afford it. So you have to work with that and work in that price range, in that price bracket. Although I always talk about making sure you have a pyramid of products that cover all different prices, so that you're pleasing everybody and attracting lots of different customers and also income into your business. But that's for another day. So are you attracting those clients, and those are the people who you want to reach out to? And if so, obviously in your business, if you're having a lower cost product, you need to talk about volume rather than your sales price. So if you drop your sales price, or if you have a low sales price, you need to increase your volume of sales. Or are you looking at a more higher end product, a top product, which is more expensive, that people who are more financially relaxed, then they can afford that? You know, are those the clients you want to help and attract? And that all depends on the business and the service that you're providing, because at the end of the day, you have to see what your skills are and what your business is before you start, heading in one direction or the other. You need to know your business outside and inside out. So that means you also need to know your clients, or your potential clients, your potential customers. Huge. So before you drop your prices, and before you think it's your price that's unattractive, then really do think about the clients that you're serving and who you're attracting into the business. And another thing I want you to think about before you drop your prices, there's 101 reasons, again, why you may not be selling the product. It might just be that you're not visible enough. It might be that you've not reached out to enough potential clients. It may be that your messaging's wrong, your branding's wrong, a whole lot of different things. But I also want you to think about, if you drop your price, will you be devaluing your product in the terms of how people perceive the product? So what I'm saying to you is, if you have got a product which is, you've put a lot of work and effort into it, it's gold dust, it's what these people really need, it's what they want, it's serving them so much, it will give them a complete stepping stone in life, it will help them in a direction that they want to go in, it will solve major issues in their life. And you package all that together, you give them that product, or you give them that service, and then you put a cheap price on it. What are your customers going to think about that? There's going to be people who go, oh yeah, that's a bargain. But there are a lot of people that are going to look at it and go, cheap price, cheap product, probably not worth it, might be throwaway money, I won't get much out of that. So you have to think of that mindset. You have to say, well, actually, I've got to put a value on this. Yeah, I want to maybe be more accessible as a product, but I don't want to make it too cheap. And if you are offering a service, for example, If you offer something for free all the time, you'll never get a sale. Never. Because you're attracting people who aren't willing to part with their money. They'll take all the freebies, and you know the people I'm talking about. They'll take all the freebies, and it's wonderful to have these people with you and friends and everything like that. It's lovely and supportive. But when it comes to you trying to sell something, and again, I keep saying this again, you need to sell things in your business in order to have a business. If you're attracting people that will not buy from you ever, whether it be $5, $10, $500, $5,000 plus, if they're not going to be that sort of person that's going to part with any of their cash, then you need to really think about your messaging to those people and what you're putting out and the amount of things you're giving away for free. It's just like let's say having a challenge. So a lot of my challenges I do are paid challenges. They're not a lot of money. I put a lot of effort into them. I guide people through their workshop, their challenge, and everything like that for a small amount of money, where other people might offer it for free. Now, the reason why I do it and I make people pay for it is because people turn up. If they've paid for something, if you've paid for something, whether that be $5 or $50 or whatever it is, you were more likely to turn up and take action and actually get the benefit from it. How many free things have you signed up to in the past that you haven't actually attended or gone to? You put your name down going, yeah, I'll turn up, I'll do it, yeah. Or you've started it and you think, yeah, this is really good, but something else has come in the way and you've gone, yeah, I'll put it off, I'll put it off, I'll put it off. Oh, whoops, I never did it. If you paid for that, however, there are more likely a chance that you'll actually go ahead and do the work. So have a think about that. So before you think about reducing your prices and freaking out, like nobody's buying, think about the other reasons why they're not buying. It might be that you are completely overpriced, so look at your competitors and see where you're at with that. But there's maybe other reasons why you're not selling things. So have a look at your prices. Make sure you've got a really good distribution of prices within your products. And think more along the lines of, this is what it's worth, this is what the effort I've put into it, and be proud of what it's worth and be proud of the product that you've produced or the service that you're providing or the products that you sell. Think about that. Look at the time, the effort, the love that you've put into that and the passion that you've put into it, because that's what your customers are going to receive, and you have to put a value on it, and the value is money. And if they don't value it, then they're not your ideal customer. It's their mindset over money, not yours. Okay, so I hope that helps, and I hope that it makes you think a little bit more about dropping prices before looking at everything else. I honestly think that you need to look at other things in your business before you drop your prices. Okay, that's me for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I shall see you later. Bye!